Well, good morning. I'm David Coombe at the CBS and Debrief. This Tuesday, the 29th of March, so not too many days left in the month. Just on 8:30 a.m. here in the Sydney office, and looking at what happened overnight, we can see that the US, pretty much all of the Americas down. Dow down just slightly. There's some pretty big moves, of course, last week, so it's not unrealistic to expect that some profit taking probably helped take the heat out of that market there. S&P 500 was down a little bit more, 0.27, Nasdaq 0.45, Toronto down most of all 1.04, Mexico and Brazil following up there as well. Over in Europe, a little bit of a different picture, but on the positive side, but similar moves, pretty small there. FTSE just 0.06, CAC 0.12, DAX down 0.11, and so on. Move down here and have a look at the our region rather. Nikkei down 57. Hang Seng down 90, and we ended up closing down 9 points after moving around that sort of level a little bit lower. I think at one stage down around 15 or 20 or so, but recovered a little bit there in the end. Futures now to our region, suggesting that we'll open up slightly here, 4 points. Haven't actually got in to have a look at the calendar here, but I don't know if there's a great deal there to give us any sort of direction. Nikkei, a little bit of recovery suggested, up 30, and the Hang Seng down 12 points. Take a look at our commodities now. Now, crude has come off, taken a little bit of that pressure out. 104 does seem to be, 105 does seem to have been have become a bit of a ceiling, bit of a level of resistance. And I understand the Libyan rebels have vowed to reopen the supply lines when they or restart the exports of crude once they take hold of the export terminals there. So putting a bit of pressure on crude there. Natural gas also off 1.54%. Of course, we've seen some really cracking moves up there on that particular commodity, so perhaps a little bit of expectation is not unrealistic for a bit of a retracement. Now to some of the other commodities. Not going to go through them all, but it looks like we've got more on the downside than on the upside. And the bigger moves were cotton at 3.42, corn at 2.68 rather, coffee down 1.73, and as far as moves up, really nothing significant. Cocoa just 0.62%. Take a look here at copper, $4.34.5. That was down 7.4 cents, a fairly big move downside there. And gold giving up some of those gains again, $14.22 and 10 cents. Pardon me. Silver 37.16, up 11.1 cents, 4.3%. So that's really, I think that's getting up near, pretty well up near all-time record there, but don't quote me on that until we take a look at the chart. Currency pairs, euro buying 1.4087 US dollars, pound buying 1.5994, US dollar buying 81.7050 yen, and the Aussie buying 1.0243, US dollar buying 97.78, and the Swiss franc, the US dollar rather, buying 0.9166 Swiss franc. Okay, let's take a look at the economic calendar here. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Forgot to turn the phone off. Okay, so we're just looking here through the Tuesday, the economic data for this Tuesday, rather. We've already had, oh no, we haven't just by the looks of things, had this German or Eurozone data out. A little bit surprising, there might be something wrong with the calendar, but it looks like we do have the US pending home sales month to month for February and year on year for February, so that was came in at 2.1. Expectation was for 0, and the previous was negative 2.8, so reasonably positive figures there, and negative 9.3 was the number for comparison to last year. Moving on, we've got some New Zealand trade data and trade balance numbers out, and then a little bit later on this morning, Japanese household spending, jobless rate, retail trade figures for February, and moving through to home sales locally, some Swiss data, and then some GDP, gross domestic product figures, expected to come in at negative 0.6% there for quarter on quarter, and year on year up 1.5. So that number there would actually be pretty positive if we see that get printed. Okay, let's move on now and have a quick look at the Falcon Trader. A couple of the markets there. Try not to spend too long on them because a number of these I know I've spent a fair bit of time on in the last couple of weeks, but quick follow-up. I know one that I've talked about is this leveraged natural gas instrument, LNGA is the code there. Now that offers you 2 to 1 leverage, and a weekly chart there is a little bit hard to say anything here, but that's continuing to move higher, although last night of course we did see that come off a little bit, having opened up higher. But nice rounding out pattern there, so that's still looking pretty good. AGL is another one I've talked about several times now. Really making pretty hard work of this, but it is seemingly grinding higher. We haven't had to be stopped out of that, so that's been pretty good so far, at least. PwC, Energy World Corporation, is another one I quite like, and I am happy to say that it's also slowly grinding higher. And there it is there, so 44.5 I think was the close yesterday, so as long as it keeps building on that, pretty happy with staying in that. At some stage you could probably think about pulling a stop up from around this 36 cent level and possibly even put it in underneath this low here, and that sort of gets us pretty close to our entry point, which in my case at least was 42 cents. Okay, just wanted to have a quick look here at the US dollar index. I think Jono's talked about this particular trade, but yeah, pretty much like it to go bullish here and continue to strengthen. And we've got a making a double bottom there. We know where we can put our stop loss, just under there, and to see that move higher. Finally, I just want to close out the session here, having a look at the VectorVest top picks according to value, safety, and timing, and a couple of other trade ideas here. If you go and do your own research, Cedar Woods, Iluka. I like Iluka and the space it's in with titanium dioxide being in strong demand and limited producers of that. Village Roadshow, Alcan Resources, which of course is rare earths, Ramulus Resources into gold, Consolidated, Global Consolidated rather, Mesoblast, Focus, Credit Union Group, Credit Corp Group, Debt Collection Agency, Decmil, M2, Arden Leisure, Elemental Minerals, ARB, people that make the bull bars and whatnot. Medusa coming back up here into the frame for those of you that watch my AM session. I know that I've talked about that quite a lot in the past, so that seems to be coming back into favour according to VectorVest. You can see those other trades down there. If you're interested in knowing more about VectorVest, drop me a line or give me a call, 8267 003. Okay, I'm going to wind up the session here. Thanks as always for your attention. Hope you found that worthwhile, and until next time, bye bye.